Are you planning on building in Selwyn? We can show you how to complete your online building consent application. We get thousands of applications each year from people all around Canterbury and aim to have each one processed in under 20 working days. Our new AlphaOne online consent application system is a New Zealand first. It is user-friendly and easy to follow. Keep watching for some helpful tips on how to make it even easier to complete your next building consent application in Selwyn. Remember, you can stop and save your application at any time. At the end of the video, if you still have any questions or need some help filling out your application, you can call the Council on 03 34 72 839. First, head to the Council website. On the left-hand side, click on Apply for it and choose Building Consent. Click the online application form to start a new application. Read through the checklist and make sure you understand and tick all the boxes. It's important you have all the supporting documents. Make sure all supporting documents are PDFs. This is the preferred file type and any other file type will not be accepted. It's also important that you read, understand and accept the Terms of Use and Privacy Policy. Remember to click I Authorise. Then you can move on to the next window by clicking either Sign Up if you're a new user or Sign In if you have worked with us before. In this video, you'll learn how to apply for a new building consent. First, you need to decide if you want a PIM. You don't have to apply for one, but you may find it interesting to know about the land your project will be built on. If you're not sure what this is, click on the question mark. This will provide you with more information. Essentially, a PIM provides information known by the council about the property, including wind region, hazards, planning and drainage, to assist in the design phase of your project. Choose the option that you require and click Next. Here we need to know your role in the project. You may be filling this out as the owner or the owner's agent. You do not need to have an agent to represent you, but it can be useful, particularly if council staff have technical questions about your application. Choose your answer and move on to the next screen. Now we need to know about where you plan to build. Simply add your lot number and DP. You'll find this on the Certificate of Title or Sale and Purchase Agreement, which you'll need a copy of. Then fill in the site address. If you don't know what the exact address will be yet, you can enter the lot number and subdivision name. The next step is important, and without attaching it, you cannot finish your application. Make sure you upload your Certificate of Title or Sale and Purchase Agreement here. Again, it is important that this is a PDF. If it isn't, an error box will come up telling you how to resolve the problem. At the top of the screen is a progress tracker. At the moment, it shows that we are almost halfway through the application. Keep an eye on this to see how far through you are at any time. Now it's time to tell us about the details of your project. It is important to give as full a description as possible when completing this section. You might be planning to build a new 3-bedroom dwelling with attached double garage. Maybe you are making additions and alterations. An addition may be a new master bedroom with ensuite. Alterations may be refurbishing an existing bathroom by installing a new bath and shower. If a building is being demolished, this should also be noted. Then make sure you note any relevant building consents that may have been issued in the past. To answer this question, you need to ask yourself whether your project is temporary or permanent. It is important that your consent application accurately reflects the life of the building, as the fixtures will depend on the intended life of the building. This may be anything from 7 days through to 50 or more years. Temporary structures such as marquees, tents and stages may have a 7-day life. Permanent buildings, including dwellings, garages and concrete swimming pools, are likely to have a life expectancy of 50 years, or an indefinite life expectancy. This would also apply to fixtures such as solid fuel heaters installed within a dwelling. The estimated value entered here needs to be as accurate as possible. Completing this incorrectly could affect the rateable value further down the track, so it needs to be a true representation. This value is used for government valuation and also determines the amount of levies payable on the project. Now tell us how many buildings will be involved in your project. Simply click on the descriptions that apply to your project by following the drop-downs. If you are unsure what to choose, get more information by clicking the question mark. Another drop-down will appear which relates to the means of compliance. This is where you need to identify how the new building work will comply with the relevant clauses of the New Zealand Building Code. This could be by way of an acceptable solution, verification method, or alternative solution. If you are not familiar with the building code, you may need to consult your designer for this information or select I don't know, meaning you are happy for us to determine this from the plans supplied. The next window will ask you to fill in your contacts for the job. At this stage, you will probably only know who your designer is and maybe who your builder is. Enter their details here. This section of the form gathers information about potential contamination that may exist on your building site as a result of its previous use. It's important that you take all reasonable steps to establish any hazardous industry or activities that may have been carried out on the property in the past. This will establish if there is any potential contamination on the land that could affect the health or well-being of building occupants. This information is used to determine if a resource consent is required or not, if it complies with the New Zealand Building Code, and if any remediation is required. This section requires you to tell us some extra information. Make sure you answer all of the questions. It is important to upload any files that you can at this stage. You can do this by simply clicking on the green buttons. Again, make sure you are uploading PDF files. If you don't have a file to add, click the red button. The review page is the final step in your building consent application. Take your time checking that the information you have given is correct. Your 20-day processing time will not start until everything is vetted by council building staff, so to speed this up, make sure all details are there. When you are happy that you have filled in everything correctly and you've attached the necessary files, you may like to add some additional comments. Then type in your name to give consent for the application to begin processing, and say you accept the associated charges. If you would like to save and submit your application later, click the blue button, or simply choose the green button to submit it now. The screen will now show that you have successfully submitted your application and you will receive a confirmation email. And that's all there is to it. From here, we'll vet your application for completeness and email you if we need any further information before a technical review can begin. All correspondence throughout the process will be sent electronically where possible to ensure that communications are as quick and efficient as possible. Thanks for watching, and we hope you find it helpful when filling out your next building consent application.